Scientists in Egypt just announced that while looking for Cleopatra, they found an untouched miracle. There are many parts of the world and the galaxy that have not yet been discovered, and there are also many ecosystems that are still developing. To conduct study and exploration in many regions of the world and the solar system, we are continually broadening the scope of our existing body of knowledge and developing the technology at our disposal. Researchers, thinkers, and explorers of all stripes are continually on the lookout for solutions to the most perplexing problems about life, history, space, and other topics. They won't stop searching for answers until every mystery on Earth and in space has been cleared up. Today, here at the Unknown Facts, let's dig in and take a look at the most recent discovery made by researchers in Egypt who were searching for Cleopatra. The discovery of a lost city in Egypt that dates back 3,000 years and is now known as the city of Aten is an event that may be described as being of enormous relevance to the field of archaeology. Egyptologists and archaeologists believe that this discovery is the most important one made in the region since the tomb of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun. Archaeologists had begun their search for a mortuary temple on the western bank of Luxor in Egypt in September of the year 2020. However, during that time, they did not consider the possibility of discovering anything even more significant, such as a lost metropolis. According to the statement made by the archaeological mission, the primary goal was to locate the mortuary temple of King Tutankhamun. A well-known Egyptologist by the name of Zahi Hawass announced at the beginning of April 2021 that they had discovered a whole city dating back 3,000 years called Aten. Aten is also known as Egypt's Lost Golden City. In reference to the lost city, ruler Amenhotep III, the ninth king of ancient Egypt's 18th dynasty, is credited with founding the city of Aten. Aten was named after the god Aten. Aten, which was located in the southern part of the city of Luxor, is thought to have been the largest administrative and industrial community during that time period. The discovery of this city has made it possible to get a unique glimpse into ancient Egyptian life during a period when the empire was at its most prosperous. Archaeologists have high hopes that this amazing discovery will contribute to a deeper comprehension of former civilizations and the day-to-day lives of the people who lived in them. The work of excavating the area between the temples of Amenhotep III and King Ramses III got underway back in September. The group discovered the ruins of a massive city that had been well preserved, including walls that were almost entirely intact and rooms that were stocked with items that were used on a daily basis. It is speculated that the entire city was buried by the sands of Egypt, and its discovery is currently being heralded as one of the most significant archaeological discoveries. Archaeologists have unearthed priceless artifacts including colored pottery, jewelry, and mud bricks with seals of Amenhotep III. Additional archaeological work is currently being carried out at the site, and the team is anticipating the discovery of unopened tombs that are stuffed with wealth. Egyptologists and archaeologists are hailing this discovery as the most significant find in the region since the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun, the boy king. Geometric miracle. Archaeologists have discovered a massive tunnel beneath a temple in the ancient ruined city of Taposiris Magna on the Egyptian shore. The tunnel is so spectacular that experts are calling it a geometric miracle. Kathleen Martinez of the University of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic and her colleagues discovered the structure 13 meters or about 43 feet below the surface of the ground when they were conducting continuing excavations and study of the temple. An amazing 1,305 meters or 4,281 feet of sandstone had been cut through the tunnel, which stood at a height of just 2 meters. According to the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, its layout is strikingly comparable to that of the 1,036-meter tunnel of Eupalinos, which was an aqueduct built in the 6th century BCE on the island of Samos in Greece. When it was first built, the conduit set new standards for both its design and its construction, earning it the reputation of being an engineering miracle. Even if the Taposiris Magna tunnel isn't the only tunnel of its kind, the engineering behind it is nonetheless incredibly astounding. Although there are similarities between the Taposiris Magna tunnel and the Eupalinos tunnel, the function of the Taposiris Magna tunnel is not understood at this time. Parts of the tunnel are located underwater. Martinez, who has been working at Taposiris Magna since 2004 in the quest in the missing tomb of Cleopatra VII, feels that the tunnel could be a potential lead in the search for the undiscovered tomb. In the past, the excavations have produced evidence that appears to point to the well-known queen, who was also the last of the Ptolemies. Ptolemy II, the son of the famous general under Alexander the Great and a forebear of Cleopatra, is credited with establishing the city of Taposiris Magna in the year 280 BCE. The group has come to the conclusion that the temple was devoted to the god Osiris and his queen, the goddess Isis. Isis was the goddess with whom Cleopatra sought to cultivate a close relationship. Coins with the names and likenesses of Cleopatra and Alexander the Great have been discovered there, as have statues of the goddess Isis. In addition, burial shafts with burials that date back to the Greco-Roman period were discovered within the temple. It is probable that Cleopatra and her husband Mark Antony were buried in tombs that were very similar to one another. This would be the case if their bodies were ever discovered in the area. Although it is too soon to know whether the new tunnel could lead to these long-lost tombs, the future effort may offer more information about this possibility. The subsequent step will consist of exploring the Mediterranean Sea that is close by. A number of earthquakes struck the shore between the years 320 and 1303 CE, which resulted in the collapse of a portion of the temple, which was thereafter consumed by the waves. In addition, earlier digs had uncovered a tunnel network that extended all the way from Lake Mariel to the Mediterranean Sea. It doesn't matter if the tombs are discovered or not. If we excavate these ruins thoroughly, we might be able to learn more about the fascinating ancient city. The tunnels already produced several valuable finds, including shards of pottery and a chunk of limestone cut into a rectangular shape. According to what Zahi Hawass, who served as Minister of Antiquities at the time, said 13 years ago, if we are successful in locating the burial site of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, it will be the most significant find of the 21st century. Even if we did not find the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, we nonetheless made important findings both inside and outside the temple. Golden Tongue Mummy. An ancient Egyptian site known as Taposiris Magna was the location where a group of archaeologists discovered a mummy dating back 2,000 years that had a tongue made of gold. They also discovered 15 more graves and rock-cut tombs at the same location. The group of researchers that was led by Dr. Kathleen Martinez hypothesizes that the tongue of the deceased person may have been removed during the embalming process and replaced with a golden tongue. This was done so that the person could communicate with Osiris, the god of the dead, in the afterlife. According to legend, Osiris was the ruler of the underworld and served as the judge of the souls of people who had passed away. It was believed that upon entering the afterlife, the person who had the golden tongue would be able to communicate with Osiris, and this skill would allow them to get their rewards. The digs being carried out by a group of archaeologists from the University of Santo Domingo, which has been toiling away at the location for close to a decade now. The ancient Greek and Roman civilizations were famed for their use of burial shafts, which were used to retain remains inside of a mountain or naturally occurring rocky mountain. These burial shafts date back around 2,000 years. The skeletal remains of the mummies that were found in the tombs have since decomposed, but the stone burial masks have not been harmed in any way, which enables the excavation team to get an idea of what each individual may have looked like in their younger days. The skull and the majority of the skeleton structure, which was found to have that gold tongue, were reported to be in good condition for their age. Although the other burials were not in as good of shape, Dr. Martinez was able to unearth a number of sculptures and costly trinkets that have not been damaged, which has helped researchers learn more about the people who lived during that time period. The statues are in such good condition that one can make out the individual's hairstyles and headdresses, even though they are centuries old. A female mummy was discovered in one of the 15 burials, and the death mask that she wore covered a significant portion of her body and depicted her with a headpiece and a smile. The scientists had previously discovered a number of coins engraved with the face of Queen Cleopatra VII within the temple of Taposiris Magna. This provides some evidence that she was in power around the time that many of the deceased were laid to rest in their rock-cut tombs. Pregnant Egyptian mummy. Researchers have concluded that the mystery mummy of an ancient Egyptian woman who may have been pregnant when she died also had cancer. The mummy's skull deformities point to a large tumor behind the left eye, but further examinations needed to determine whether or not the tumor was malignant. The mysterious lady mummy, as she has been dubbed, most likely originated in the ancient Egyptian metropolis of Thebes, modern-day Luxor. It was discovered intact in the sarcophagus of a male priest who lived around the 1st century BC. The Warsaw Mummy Project in Poland was shocked to discover the remains of a female within the sarcophagus at its first unveiling. Very quickly, they got to work dissecting the body for any indication of why her casket had been placed next to other people. An April 2021 investigation by the project's experts claimed that CT scans of the mysterious lady had found the remains of a fetus inside her womb, making her the first pregnant mummy ever discovered. According to the group's calculations, the woman had passed away sometime around her 28th week of pregnancy. The fetus within the mummy had pickled like an egg, as described in follow-up research published by the Polish team in January 2022. Experts disagree on whether or not the mummy was genuinely pregnant, with some believing the fossilized fetus to be a twisted embalming pack that was inserted into the body to replace organs that had been removed prior to mummification. Now, the same team has declared in a blog post that the mysterious lady most likely suffered from nasopharynx cancer, which affects the mouth, nasal cavity, and trachea. Deformities in the mummy's head are the basis for the new assertions, although these have not been verified by independent scientific analysis or peer review. A recent 3D reconstruction of the mysterious lady's skull revealed a 0.27-inch hole below the left eye socket, alerting experts to the possibility of cancer. Archaeologist and anthropologist at the Medical University of Warsaw and co-director of the Warsaw Mummy Project, Marzyna Owark-Silski, told Live Science in an email that the unusual gap was likely caused by a tumor or lesion that had grown there and forced the surrounding bone away from the rest of the socket. Owark-Silski speculated that a cyst or sebra orbitalia could have left the hole. Both conditions alter the surface of the eye sockets. She continued by saying that cancer was most likely to be the cause due to the presence of additional minor deformities to the bones of the nasal cavity, mouth, and sinuses. Normally, an old skull wouldn't reveal enough information to pinpoint the cause of such anomalies. However, the mysterious lady's excellent preservation means that certain remnants of her flesh cling to her skeleton. Histopathological studies, like those used to diagnose cancer today, can be performed on this tissue to reveal whether or not the mysterious lady suffered from the disease. Owark-Silski noted that similar research has shown indicators of various cancers in mummies. By the end of the year, the team hopes to have a conclusive result. The mysterious lady may have died from cancer if these anomalies were caused by the disease, and it was speculated that cancer may have been the direct cause of her death. It's possible that the pregnancy itself was also the cause of the death. Scientists are enthusiastic about the possibility of making the finding because it is unusual to learn the reason for the death of a mummified individual. As Owark-Silski put it, we always question what was the cause of death of the studied corpse when conducting a forensic autopsy. And this is an issue for which we rarely find a satisfactory solution. To be sure, there is still a great deal to find out about the mysterious lady, such as why she was discovered in the wrong coffin and who she actually was. She said, "We have uncovered another piece of the puzzle from her life," and Owark-Silski agreed. Nonetheless, there are some parts that we are currently missing. So that's all for today's video. We'll be right back. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please don't forget to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.